There is a particular kind of marketing that I have recently learned that I despise. It always happens like reasonably lengthy before a project is supposed to be released. This is not something that normally comes out like right before. This is normally like pre-production level marketing type things. It starts as a video. It's always a video. And in the video, you'll have at least one, but usually 3+ important people to the project. You'll have like an actor, or you'll have the director or showrunner, or maybe even like the CEO of the company in question making the production. And they'll come in front of the camera, or they'll just be in front of the camera, and they'll be wearing casual clothes. They will then proceed to talk to the camera in a way that I can only describe as stereotypically YouTube, right? And then the video will go something like this. Hey guys, I am relevant person to this project, joined today by other relevant person to the project, as well as a third and or more relevant person to this project. We're here today on the set of / in the writer's room / in some random sound studio because we threw this together last minute, here to promote insert project title here. We're really excited to be bringing this project to life. Everything that we can't show you so far is amazing. It's absolutely stellar. We've put a lot of work into it and we can't wait to show you. And since we have you here, we're going to show you some behind the scenes / concept art / the only thing that we're approved by the licensors to actually show you at this juncture. Don't worry though, we know already you're gonna love it. Get hype! Check it out. And then they proceed to, show you the thing. I hate this type of thing for a number of reasons. The first, I think, is this general assumption by the people presenting it, even if they themselves have good intentions. It's that they talk to the camera as if they're talking to fans of the thing they're working on. However, that's impossible because what they're working on ain't out yet. Now, this could technically happen in something that is a sequel or other attached project to a larger franchise, and maybe they could then, in that case, be talking to actual fans of said franchise. But I've been seeing it more often than not in things that don't have existing fans, and therefore, who the hell are you talking to? It almost feels like I am being gaslit into getting hype and getting excited for this thing that I can't see. I don't know what this project that you're promoting is going to be like. It's not done yet. Why you're bothering to show me anything just to build hype? We've seen this before. So the reason why I'm going on this little bit of a rant is because Netflix, in their infinite wisdom, has released a very short video promoting the upcoming live-action adaptation of One Piece. In said video, we have the lead actor of the series alongside 2 of the show's showrunners introducing themselves seemingly on set and introducing a somewhat slideshow, somewhat back behind the scenes look at some of the sets and so forth for the upcoming series. They're doing this, I'm assuming, because they want to have some semblance of hype train built in, because this is One Piece. One Piece being one of the best-selling manga of all time. So maybe that's who they're talking to. They're talking to fans of One Piece specifically. Just one problem with that. You've tried that before, Netflix. You remember? It hasn't gone very well, and that's kind of the thing. I know a lot of people don't care about this sort of thing. I'm sure, and especially looking at the YouTube comments for this video, which was surprisingly positive, unless it's just heavily moderated. There are going to be people that enjoy looking at behind-the-scenes stuff of a thing that they haven't watched yet. But personally, why? Why do I want to look behind the curtain before I've even seen the illusion, right? I don't want to see any of that. I don't want my first context of a lot of this stuff to be the behind the scenes thing, because then when I see it, inevitably in the show, I'll be like, oh, hey, there's that set. And not, hey, there's the actual place. It's like a disconnect there. And this is all just to build hype, to start that hype train going. But you don't really have anything substantial there to actually create hype. Any franchise and any show really will release cast lists, and One Piece and Netflix have done that just so. They have released a vast amount of the people who have been cast in the series, and that has caused certain levels of hype. So really, you're trying to start a hype train, you're trying to light this fire, but you got nothing to light. It's like you're trying to start a fire with a brick. Oh sure, you'll get some sparks, of course, but you're far more liable to trip, fall, and bash your head in. Now I know I am being overly pessimistic, not just because I am a pessimistic person by nature, but also, when has this ever worked out? Like, it's very hard for me not to be negative towards these projects, especially when we've seen nothing really yet, when we've been burned so many times before. I don't need to see behind the scenes work of any project in order to get hype. In fact, I don't see a point in getting hype until the show comes out. Once it's out, then you can watch it, and if it's good, that's enough. Do you know how much hype you're gonna get from releasing a legitimately good live action adaptation of an anime and or manga? That's gonna be an absurd amount of hype right there. An absurd amount of engagement that you're going to get simply by just making it good. But in my pessimistic nature, I'm not hopeful. I look at this and I end up thinking to myself of all of the times that this kind of marketing and marketing similar to it has occurred, and I get to thinking sometimes the products that get over-marketed are done so because they're not gonna be good. And the people that are in charge know that, but they're already invested. These are million-dollar projects, and if people don't watch them, those millions of dollars go bye-bye. And so they will overmarket the shit out of it. They will do whatever it takes from a marketing perspective to get people to have eyes on this project, even though right now we are months away from Netflix ever releasing this series. And this is hilarious to me because, like, just thinking Netflix for a moment, some of Netflix's best shows in the past year had, like, virtually zero marketing before it came out. I saw no marketing for Arcane before Arcane came out. I saw no marketing for Squid Game before it came out. Hell, even in the anime sphere, like, I barely saw anything for JoJo, but that's a different story. So to have something that gets all of this, like, pre-production marketing, I'm having flashbacks to Cowboy Bebop. You remember that time that they showed us a video just for the writer's room? Hey guys, this is the writer's room of Bebop. Hey look, we have this cute little dog that looks like Ein. Get hype. Remember how that turned out? What Netflix really should do. And I probably shouldn't be listened to because I'm already pretty negative on this project, and chances are they're not gonna listen to that, and you know, fair enough. But really, the best thing that they could do is shut up. No, really. Don't show us anything. If the series is good, that is all you need. That is all they need. It'll market itself. You run the risk of building a hype train that sets expectations higher than the show itself can meet. Not only that, but the more that they do this, the more that they release these types of videos, the more you are already losing the first impression bonus that you get, because people will already have impressions on what they think the project is before it is even released. Going back to, like, all of the other big hits that they've had over the past year, even in Netflix's, like, entire existence, most of the big hits that they've ever had didn't have, like, pre-production marketing, at least nothing from, like, filming. My God. If the show is good, the best thing that they could do is show us nothing. And they might look at that and be like, why would we do that? Then people will forget about it. And it's like, no, yes, but no. People will forget about it, but you want them to. You don't want them to remember that this is it. You don't want them to be waiting, right? It's like getting people put into a line or a queue, right? By constantly reminding them that there's this thing that they want, you're essentially throwing them into a queue, waiting for it. People hate waiting. But in general, if you're constantly reminding someone of this thing that you don't have, they are going to be constantly reminded that they are waiting in this invisible line to get to the thing, to see the thing, to experience the thing. And the longer they have to wait in that line, the more that it's going to have to be good to make it worth it to them. It's setting up anticipation. If you have someone wait for an experience or something in a 3-hour line versus having someone who was just able to walk in, they're probably gonna have two very different sets of expectations. Now, I'm not saying that you don't market the show at all. I'm not saying that you're like, hey, it doesn't exist, because eventually you'll get into the territory of people even questioning, well, does it exist? Part of the problem with that is that you've already kind of got the ball rolling with that. It would have been better just to say, hey, it's greenlit, and maybe here are the casting announcements, but then you kind of leave it at that. You're already moving forward with some other things, so then if you just, go radio silence, some people might be like, what happened? But the more you make people wait, the more that they're going to want the thing that they eventually experience to live up to the waiting that they had to do. So constantly reminding them that the thing exists, that they can't see it yet, I personally think is a bad idea. Personal thought. I would much rather to not hear anything about until either, hey, here's a trailer, it's out next week, or, as I'm actually seeing more often than not in other properties, hey, it's out now, go watch it. Like on the Disney Marvel side of things, I didn't watch anything about freaking Moon Knight until it came out, and that show was great. Did I have some sneak peek experience of it because it's based on this comic book character, and look, here's some behind the scenes stuff of Moon Knight like 6 months before the show comes out? No, we didn't do any of that. I just wish that they would trust the product more. Does that make sense? I want them to trust in the product. There is a level of marketing that you should do and you can do, but there's a line there, and when you start crossing over that line, I start worrying about the thing that you're trying to market. So don't overmarket, and hopefully this has been an overly negative video for no reason, and the series will be great. But we can only hope. Thank you for watching this reaction to recent news. Thank you to the patrons who make everything on this channel possible. In specific, I would like to thank patrons Omar Showman, Hector Montemayor, Wago221, City Yamako, Rifen Bonaparte, and Ross Emerson for being especially awesome. And until next time, watch more anime and stay frosty.